bachelor's, 400 on honorary degrees. So EVA to all beneficial energies that exist in the east, west, north, and south. So EVA to all our Maurice here today. We ask of you, Marie, that you'll always support us. Marie, that you'll always guide us. Marie, that you'll always protect us. Let us be successful in everything that we do. Everything that we touch may bear fruit. We ask of you. We ask of all our ancestors here gathered with us here today. We continue blessing us and guide us and keep us. We pay homage to Mother Earth. We pay homage to the rivers, sweet waters that run through the country, the world. We pay homage to our beautiful air, the beautiful air that we breathe. We give thanks to this day. Mother Maria, as we gather here today, we ask of you for your blessings, we ask of you for guidance, we ask of you for protection. We ask of you for all positive endurance in our life to manifest in abundance. We ask of you blessings for our children. We ask for blessings for our children. We ask of you for peace in our community. We ask for peace in our community. All that we bear or carry through or carry on our back, we ask our burden will be lighter. We ask of you to strengthen us in our task. Mother Mary, you reach out on your ancestors. We give you thanks for this day. This is your day. This is our day. Days Ifa Day, and we give praises and thanks. We give blessings. We ask you for guidance and protection on this day of Ifa Day. And all beneficial energies will support all of us here today. And even the ones who are not here today want to be with us, we ask of you that you may bless them and support them. I ask this in the name of the Mary to reach out to the ancestors. I said, Ashe.
I am going to ask, in our tradition, who is the oldest person here? That is anybody 75 years and up? Anybody over 80? Excellent. In the African tradition, before we start or do anything, we ask permission of the elder to speak and to conduct this ceremony that we do. So I'm asking you permission to speak.
Good afternoon. I feel very honored to be here one more time. From the time I came from New York and my dear friend Akende holds this event, I make it possible to be here because I think it's something very wonderful. I feel it's special to be asked permission. I don't know what I should give.
Right. What happens, right, which is why we say that whenever we host event, it is always a learning event.
Absolutely.
So in the African tradition, the oldest person is asked to speak. And you would say to me yes or no if I should speak. But I welcome your
yes, you should speak.
Your enthusiasm to be part of our thing. So we learned something there. That is how it's supposed to be. In our Ifa Orisha tradition, that is what we do. Thank you very much for giving me the honor to speak. Now we're going to have our opening ritual. All African women who are here presently and are 70 years and older, please stand up. Every African woman who is here, 70 years and older, please stand. We honor you, we appreciate you, we acknowledge you. All African women, 50 years to 69 years, please stand up. We honor you, we appreciate you, we acknowledge you. All those African women, 30 years to 49 years, please stand up. We honor you, we appreciate you, we acknowledge you. All those African women, 20 years to 29 years. We honor you, we appreciate you, we acknowledge you. All those African women, 10 years to 19 years. If there are none, that is presently, we still honor you, we appreciate you, and we acknowledge you. All those young African women, 9 years and under, please stand up. We honor you, we appreciate you, and we acknowledge you. We ask all our men to stand up for us to show you our appreciation. We honor you, we appreciate you, we acknowledge you. Because in the African tradition, you must have balance. It's about male and female. Thank you. You know, in Yoruba town, we say Aborobo Eboshishe. Everyone can day. As I said before, we are very appreciative of all those who are here with us this evening to celebrate with this young sister, Dorsha Charles, our 6th annual Recognizing Our Warrior Women. It's also our celebration of the decade for people of African descent. It's our responsibility to take care of our business. And the Traditional African Women Organization is an organization to be a voice for our African women, to help and support them in the heritage, the community, and for reclaiming our traditional cultures and tradition and way of life that we have been exposed, and a lot of the colonial behaviors and tradition has influenced our tradition. So Tao is reclaiming our traditions, our cultures, and we are taking back our sovereignty. Thank you very much for giving me the honor to speak. What we are going to go into this evening is another initiation in the African tradition. We have 5 types of initiation rites of passage, as we acknowledge. Birth and naming, the first one. Puberty, the awareness, behavior, and biology. 3rd, marriage in concert with someone else, bonding, 2 families joining, children, etc. 4, changing into eldership, what we are doing this evening. And 5, travel to Urun. Urun is what we call heaven. We're Christian people would say heaven or death. So the 5th initiation in the African tradition is traveling to Urun, because when people pass away, we don't say we die or rest in peace. We say smooth transition onto Urun. So I have here in our midst one of our colleagues, supporter, and who have supported and do a number of research in putting the traditional African woman on the right path in our traditions and our culture. And I'm going to ask briefly for Dr. Aman Salah Sakana to briefly explain to us this rite of passage that we are about to do.
A person from birth enters into a new world, and there's a series of initiations or a series of introductions given to that child from birth to death. As you enter into the world, you are given a certain type of initiation to introduce you into this new world. And when you die, you're also given certain ceremonies to send you on your way. in between life and transition or death, there are a variety of things that we confront. One of it, major thing is character. I think in Yoruba it's referred to as iwapele. That is a primary factor in determining, for example, whether someone will be initiated in the first beginning or not. It also determines traditionally and anciently whether you'll be admitted into a school of higher learning. And school of higher learning traditionally is not open to the general public. It's open only to those people who pass the trials of good character or iwapele. In that way, one has some minimal assurance of the ability of that person to withstand temptations in terms of using power to overcome people. I'll just give you one little demonstration. My mentor is an Igbo man, Professor Ume. And he told me there was a man in his village, oldest man, who had the power to transform himself into a leopard. And the members, elders of the village, asked him to pass on that knowledge to the oldest member after him of the village. And he said he wouldn't do that because that man is his enemy and will continue to do negative things. So after long discussion, this is just his eldest son. He said, my eldest son has a very bad temper and he doesn't qualify for it. They insisted that he must pass it on to someone. So they said, okay, he will give a test to the son. And they have masquerades. And I have seen that expressed in Trinidad here amongst black Indians. So when you see another mass coming from another village, you confront that person with words. And if the person's words overcomes or triumphs over the opponent would concede defeat. I have seen Indians as a boy take off their costume and smash it on the ground and concede defeat. I have seen that with my own eyes. Anybody told that to me. So the same thing happened. The opponent beat the man's son. He had given him a leaf to wrap around his wrist. And he said, do not break this in any circumstances, unless it's life or death. He was so angry, he broke the leaf. And a flock of bees came down on people and stung them. So he went back to the elders and he told them, you see, I cannot pass on this to anybody. And he did not pass it on to anyone when he died. That's what we talk about character. You have to have that ability not to use your power to overcome people. Because you want something and that person doesn't voluntarily give it to you, you will use power to overcome them. That is not supposed to be done. So in the process of growing up, you're always measured not for anything else but for your character. And that's really the essence of a rite of passage. To strengthen your moral fortitude, to give you moral vision, to instill a deep ethical sense of belonging and of measure, so that you don't go on the negative path. That's it, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And now we have our guest artist, Nafta Pujo.
I'm so free, yeah, yeah, yeah. We are so free, yeah, yeah, yeah. We are so free, yeah, yeah, yeah. We are so free, yeah, yeah, yeah. African, 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 be anything that I want to be.
Alright, so moving right along, we have the biography by Aina Alukuri. Yes. So welcome to your lovely presence.
Greetings everyone. Greetings. Alright. This is a privilege. I am Yeye Aina Kayode. That means that, as Dr. Saba Sakana explained, in our tradition as an Obatala priestess, I have an additional responsibility. When I found out that Obatala was my divinity, it fit in with my personality, with the things I love to do. I teach. And meeting this fine young lady, Dorsha Charles, made it even more, what's that word? Relevant and important to make sure that I create opportunities for you to interact with others. Dorsha Charles is known as the resilient warrior. Her story is one of success through struggles where she was able to overcome every obstacle she encountered. She is an educational development coach and consultant, and a certified trauma and crisis management specialist. That is just to say that she is certified with what she already achieved in her life, because she went through many crises and some traumas. But she showed her resilience. Today, Dorsha uses each experience along with her education. Dorsha is passionate about empowering students to have a balance between their mental wellness and academic performance in education and the development of educating our children. Thank you for your work. Thank you for all the people who you've interacted with, who have put your work into practice. Thank you, Tawo, Siba Akinde. Thank you for recognizing your work. Continue to rise. Continue to do well, because a rising tide lifts all boats. We have to pray.
Ms. Dorsha Charles, take your seat.
The installment ceremony for Ms. Dorsha Charles. You cover in white cloth. You cover in the purity of your ancestors, who now surround you. Your friends are here to witness. Your children are here to witness. Your grandchildren are here to witness. All the blessings come from those around you. Give thanks. Ms. Dorsha Charles, you have taken care of your mother, Ms. Dorsha Charles. You have taken care of your brother, Dorsha Charles. You still take care of your offspring. Dorsha Charles, they shout age people in home, but Ms. Dorsha Charles, all of your family will take care of you. You will live to see the sun. You will outlive and bury your enemies. Ms. Dorsha Charles, this is your seat. You have taken your seat. Be upon it like a noble daughter of Ida. Take your seat. You may rest upon it, and you will honor you as you have known. Ms. Dorsha Charles, take seat. Dorsha Charles, it is your throne. Oromela You are the leader, and I am the follower. You are the sage that teach one wise things, like one's parents and ancestors. Ifa is the question here. Whom among the Orishas can accompany one devotee on his destined journey over the sea without turning back? Ifa said, it's your Ori. It is Ori alone who can accompany his own divinity to the destined journey over the sea without turning back. Oromela said, when I'm an Ifa priestess, people say that his Ifa instrument should be thrown into a ditch. When devotees of Shango, people say his Shango instrument should be thrown away. When the devotees of Orisha Shangla die, people say his paraphernalia should be buried with him. Oromela said, even since human beings have been dying, whom head is ever served from the body before burial, Ifa say, it is Ori alone, who can accompany his devotees on a destined journey overseas without turning back. If we have money, it is Ori whom I will praise. My Ori, it is you. All good things that I have on earth, it is Ori whom I praise. My Ori is you. Ori, I hail you. You who do not forget your devotee. You who bless your devotee more quickly than other Orisha. No God bless a woman without the consent of one Ori, of her Ori. Ori, I hail you. You will allow children to be born alive. A person whose sacrifice is accepted by his Ori should rejoice exceedingly. Miss Dosha Charles, you are the life force. You wear white of purity. Your family is with you. Your enemies are defeated. I ask of you to take your seat. Take your seat.
nominating me and choosing me to be recognized today. I remember in 2017, well actually 2016 was first when I met Auntie Aina in actually another award ceremony at St. George's College. And she came up to me and she spoke to me and she told me she wanted to share my number, she wanted me to engage in some activities that she had. And 2017 was the first year she invited me to her camp, the A+ EduVentures Advantage. And I'm so grateful. That was the first year actually, 2017 was the first year that I created Survival Scholars after much prayer and fasting. And that was the first time actually I had a program, or I coordinated the program in terms of dealing with house students in the camp. So I was really, really grateful for the opportunity. And I really want to encourage our elder women to, of course, give young people opportunity, help them to realize their potential and their abilities, and nurture and help them on the journey of doing that, because that is what Auntie Aina did for me. Yes. And I'm so extremely grateful for her believing in me and choosing me to really and truly begin and blossom the way that I did. So I'm really grateful for you and Vienna and for today. Thank you all so much.
What we recognize in the African communities is that we have a lot of African people who do wonderful. Even the women, most of the time the women do well. And there's very little appreciation is given to the women. In the African tradition, that's like go right back before slavery, the woman was respected because through the woman we get both male and female. Because nobody else bring forth the life but the woman. So they understand that before slavery. So we are reclaiming our tradition, we are reclaiming our sovereignty, and anyway, they have young women, elder women, African women who are doing extremely good work and not being acknowledged. It's our responsibility to acknowledge them. It's not the government and whatever. This is the decade of people of African descent. It is not going to end at 2024 December, but we have to start it. And TAO, Traditional African Organization, is a very small organization, but we do, as people say, Talawa.
Raise your hand, save the children. Oh, black woman, save them from self-destruction. Give respect that's due and love that's true. That will raise your brother and not pull him down. Ooh, oh, oh. You've been many things. You are still daughters of queens and kings. Your ancient glory, your royal grace. You, black woman, can save this race of Africans, of Africans, of Africans, of Africans. Sing it! Look around and you will see all you have that was not meant to be. Don't strive to be like the enemy who raid the land and change the destiny of Africans, of Africans, of Africans, of Africans. Centuries of torture,
want to have our final drumology. So we can wake up the African Woman spirit this evening, right? From our Pelican African drummers.
We really want to thank our ancestors. Without our ancestors, we wouldn't know how to praise the Almighty. We really want to thank our ancestors, and one time I'll slip in thanking Iaga. Yes, it was really wonderful. As they say, those who have eyes to see will see, those who have ears to hear will hear, and some of us who have body to move, we move them. Yes, so we give thanks to our ancestors and our divinities, our Ori. And for an event like this, TAWO is the traditional African women's organization. Unapologetically rooted in our tradition, but we embrace all. Ms. Dorsha Charles is not a traditional African, what is the word I'm looking for? Devotee. Yes? Thank you for accepting, being comfortable, and being involved in the processes that you may not have known about. I certainly didn't tell you nothing. Yes? Thank you to our divinities, our ancestors, and our Ori. Your Ori is well blessed. All of us, our Oris, our head, our inner head, our consciousness agreed long before. Because if you think juggling your schedule is challenging, imagine from how many years before, from Arun, you had to decide that you're going to be here. You're going to put aside everything and be fully involved. So we give thanks to our Ori that we are here. We give thanks to the elders in our midst who are here with us. Dr. Aman Saba Sakana, Iya Ayoka, she's the leader of Ile Egbe Yemoja. Auntie Zakia of Emancipation Support Committee, Dr. Charles, Dr. James, who's Dr. Charles? But thank you, Dr. Charles. Yes, the drummers. And we have an elder amongst us in the drumming too. So that balance between the elders and the youth is necessary. Thank you very much, elder, drummer, and one time I'll thank the drummers as well.